Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I did a video the other night about Madonna's tour. Finally, some of the numbers were coming out, but I couldn't really find any of the numbers, just other people commenting. Mostly because I'm not a member of Billboard, so I can't see the box score. But finally, someone at Mad Eyes has done an article actually going through all the details. So I'm going to have a look at that. Now, the 49 shows, 7 cities, 7 shows were cancelled, I think one in each city at least. They sold a total of 116,875 tickets, and the gross was $33,460,613. Now, when you go by each city, New York City at BAM had 16 shows, attendance of 31,401, and the revenue was 9,631, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do dollars. Chicago, they had 7 shows, 23,233 in attendance, and 5,500,000. San Francisco had, at the Golden Gate Theatre, they had 3 shows. The attendance was 6,744, and the revenue was 1,945,000. Las Vegas, and I'm wondering if they took into account the 500 people who asked for refunds. They did 3 shows. The attendance was 1,213, and the revenue was 4,244,000. Los Angeles, at the Wilton, they did 10 shows. The attendance was 17,941, and the revenue was 5,874,000. Philadelphia, they did 4 shows, 11,604 in attendance. The revenue was 2,519,000. Miami, they did 6 shows. The attendance was 13,339, and the revenue was 3,007,027, blah, blah, blah. 727,000. 3,727,000. Sorry. Now, and that's where she ended. Now, one of the interesting things is, like, I've been called a hater because I've just commented on things, but I've noticed a few people are actually actively engaging in the conspiracy theory that Madonna's been not injured and that she's been cancelling shows so that they can make up for other shows not selling. The idea being that, you know, you cancel one show and then all the people who got cancelled on will go fill up the other seats in the other shows. But from what I can see, none of the shows were undersold. There may have been some seats available, but there weren't enough that you cancel a mostly sold out concert to try and get those people to fill up the others. And especially in cases where she cancelled the last show or there wasn't other shows for people to spill into, that doesn't really hold up. So other people are just saying they just cancelled them because they just didn't sell. Again, I haven't seen any proof that the concerts themselves haven't sold out, that have undersold or not sold. But there is proof of seats being available because when you looked, there were still seats. Some of that is seats are made available at different dates because people have lots of different companies and people have seats held and they release them at different times. So there's that. Another issue that was brought up, it was some people were saying that, because people were saying obviously there were seats that were available, and there are photos of her concerts and you can see empty seats here and there, and some people were saying, oh, that was for the sound people. The reason why you know, all the seats weren't full was because the audio people, the tech people had to have seats. Well, that's kind of bullshit. In arenas, sporting arenas, often they have to move seats around and make room for the sound equipment and stuff like this because the arenas are not designed to be used for concerts necessarily. So, and they're not always used for them. So they sort of know how to set them up that way, but they're not set up that way. So they have to fill areas that have seats in it. And I've seen this done many times in concerts. Like I often go to Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, and I've seen it done reconfigured so many times with different seats covered and areas covered and stuff. So that happens with arenas, but it doesn't happen with theatres, because theatres, that's all they do. All they do is have movies and plays, and they have their areas set aside, as someone pointed out, in the ceiling and the orchestra pit and backstage for all the lighting and the text and all those people, so they don't waste seat space because they're so small. They can't waste any seating space. So I'm calling bullshit on that. So there are Madonna fans defending the argument that the concerts haven't sold out because I said I'd love to have the time to sit down and work out how many seats in each venue and how many tickets were sold, and then work out the difference, because I'm sure there is a difference. And someone did do it. I only saw the example of the Golden Gate Theatre in San Francisco. They said there were the theatre had 2,297 seats. Times that by 3, it's 7,188, not 7,188, not 6,744. So there's a difference there of about 400, which would be 100 or so from each concert, which is not a huge number, but it's still not sold out. If you've got over 100 seats, it's not sold out. If you've got 5 or 10 or something, you sort of go, yeah, whatever. But when you're talking hundreds, it's not really sold out. So someone stated that, and someone was saying, it's because they don't configure the theatre in the same way because they need to make space and they block off areas for the audio and the text. And like I said before, they and I are calling bullshit on that and saying in theatres they've got that stuff well and truly sorted out, like when the place was built and for all the years of its operation, unless there's some unusual technical element involved in the concert, which Madonna doesn't really have with this concert. They should be able to use the standard seat configurations and everything, so this should not be an issue. So I don't know how many other venues have done this with, and I do not have the time to do it, but I really want to. I really want to just go and work it all out, but I'm not going to do it because I already have people telling me I don't have life because I do Madonna videos. It's like, well, they take like 15 minutes. Give me a break. As you can see by my technical prowess and the fact I don't use pictures or images, I just film it, upload it. The only thing that takes any time is doing a thumbnail. So, F you. But no, I still don't have enough time to work that out, but I really, really, really wish I did. So those are sort of the two arguments happening. People are saying that Madonna shows are not selling out, plural, and she's injured and not showing up, and a whole bunch of little complaints. And the second sort of argument is that they are cancelling the shows deliberately, not necessarily because she's so injured she can't perform, but because they're not selling out. Now, you can say then they are selling because the amount of seats available seem to be very minimal when the shows go on. But then when you actually look at the box score, it does look like there's quite a few seats, more than just a couple, available for the concerts. So they're not selling out. Like, depending on that term, if you mean selling out like the majority, they're selling out. But so far as selling out, there's no seats, like none, like less than 5. That's not happening. And that is alarming when you think of the fact she used to sell out arenas 4 or 5 times bigger. Why? What is this about? What is it? The nasty haters will just say, oh, she's not popular anymore, nobody cares. I think it's more to do with the price, the perception of the price, the difficulty in initially booking the appointments and getting appointments, the seats and getting the ones you want, and the lottery system. I think that has turned a few people off. That and the fear of cancellation, which I had before she got sick, because she cancelled the first 3 or 4 shows on the Rebel Heart show tour. So I thought she'll probably do the same thing with this. So I wanted to be at the first show, but I didn't. I was scared to book one, and then she did cancel them. So there might have been that, and then once she got sick and she started cancelling random ones depending on how she felt on the day with no real notice, I think those elements are affecting sales, and people aren't rushing because they're like, is she gonna actually perform? So I just wanted to talk about the actual stats. I found it interesting to actually look at how many shows, how much you actually made out of each one, and the revenue. And now I'm really, really tempted to work out how many seats in each theatre and work out how many, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But that's it. No other Madonna news except, she was on time. Because originally the shows were supposed to start at 8:30 and they moved it to 10:30, and at some places they were still 8:30, and she arrived at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Only half an hour late. So, and no, I don't think anyone expected her. I'm wondering if any people missed the start of the show because they were not there, because they were expecting her to be there in an hour or two. But she showed up at 9. The show finished around 11. She did 2 hours. There weren't any issues because there was some talk with London about sound issues, and if she went over time, there'd be problems. They'd shut the show down, or there'd be fines or whatever. They shut a couple of Rebel Heart shows down. So this didn't happen, but there's a lot more shows to go. So we'll see what happens. Feel free to share, like, comment. Comments are fun. Anything you guys know about the concerts, let me know. I've gotten some really helpful bits of information from people who've been to the shows or just know stuff that I don't know. Feel free to share. Thanks. Bye.